Hello Sullivan County families. We want to create a short video to answer a few of your questions. So with me today is Dr. Robin McClellan and I'm Brent Palmer.
Some of the questions we've been getting from teachers and families we've compiled into one list. So we're going to begin with logistical questions. So Dr. Palmer, what is the amount of time that children will actually be learning every day?
So the state asked that for kindergarten they spend 4 hours of instruction time each day, and for 1 through 12 they asked that students spend 6.5 hours. We do not expect for a student to sit in front of a computer for 6.5 hours, or even for kindergarten to sit in front of a computer for 4.5 hours. That instructional time includes the time of instructional delivery by the teacher. It's the time that the student spends working on their own. If you're a younger student, maybe the student's drawing or coloring or reading a book. All that time is included in that instruction.
And who would actually be teaching these classes?
Our Sullivan County teachers will be teaching these classes along with our Sullivan County curriculum, which we think we can do this with our teachers better than anyone. We're very excited to have our teachers doing these courses for us.
So one thing we thought that was important was that our teachers provide our children who are at home learning with the same high quality curriculum and instruction as the students who are sitting in classrooms. So they will be getting the same opportunities, experiences, and content as if they were in school by highly effective teachers. So we're excited about providing this level of high expectations for all students in our district. Is there time every day for live learning?
There will be an opportunity every day for live learning. We hope that our teachers will take advantage of that, and that will certainly be one of our goals, to spend some time with a lot of face-to-face time with our teachers and students. That won't be the thing that our teachers expect from our students every day, but we feel like that'll be a very sort of blended learning environment where there'll be some live time as well as some instructional time that's done on the computer with the students.
And so I know a lot of families are worried about their connection and their relationships. So will their teachers change throughout the year if they're learning remotely? Or I know by high school course they would, but like for an elementary child, will the teacher change, and will they have time to build a family of other students in that remote learning setting?
They will get an opportunity to build that family environment, because especially with the younger ages, we're not planning on changing teachers every day or throughout the virtual experience. We plan to have the same teachers throughout for the younger grades. But for high school, and high school students are used to this as well as middle school, they're used to changing teachers by subject and that sort of thing, and the virtual environment will be very much the same as that.
And for the little ones, like in first grade, they might have an ELA teacher and a math teacher, but those same two teachers will be with them, you're saying, throughout the course of their time at home.
Yes.
You've set a deadline. I believe you called it a soft deadline for Friday. Can you talk about why you set that deadline, and then what do families do if they decide after that deadline?
So the 17th is a date that we hope that all of our families can make a decision about, or your best guess about what you think you may be doing. We will be happy to accept applications after the 17th, but in all honesty, it's such a big program and there's so many things to adjust for. We'd hope to get good information from our families by the 17th so we can make the plans necessary to have all of our teachers and our curriculum and everything in place so we can do the best job that we can do for our students at the beginning of the school year.
And I think, Dr. Palmer, that since you're building this from no remote learning program, trying to meet the needs of our families, I appreciate the fact that our families and teachers are extending us so much grace and understanding that we are building it to serve their children, and we know they have questions, and I appreciate the time you're taking today to field some of those questions. So we've talked a little bit about the school day and the structure and the time frame, but I just wanted to see if I'm answering this correctly. So for an elementary school day, that's my field. What I envision is a teacher will record a video of a read aloud, just as if the children were in a classroom. So they would watch that video of the read aloud and listen to the read aloud. Then they would do some work that would be there on their computer but wouldn't be live time. And then they might watch a video on foundational skills where they're learning about phonics and putting words together and taking words apart. And then they would do some work on that. But then every day there would be live time with their teacher where she's asking questions from the story and getting the group of children to talk and problem solve. or model the skills lessons. So like that's what I think that's what you're saying with blended learning is it would be approach of lots of formats so that parents don't have to have children in front of a device for 6.5 hours a day.
Exactly.
Am I portraying that correctly?
I think you're portraying it perfectly. And with middle school, the difference for middle school and for high school would be maybe a little bit less face time one-on-one with the teacher, and we would call that more of an asynchronous model, where the teacher might provide a lot more or several more assignments on the computer for students to take care of than it would be necessarily face-to-face time. But as you said before, blended, we do expect that middle school and high school would have that face-to-face time, just maybe not as much.
So what about assignments? A lot of our students know how to submit assignments, but are our teachers expected to provide feedback and grades on those assignments?
On a regular basis, actually. So very much the same as that we have in our regular school environment. We do want our teachers to provide regular feedback to our students so they know how they're doing, where they're at in their learning, and then for the parents as well to understand how their students are doing. I understand there's a lot of anxiety on parents' part for what is my role going to be in all of this, and we ask for parents to support their students, to help make that important, to help set that schedule for the student, and that our teachers are going to be there to deliver the instruction, to help answer questions and make clear to the students what they should be doing. Not that at times that we won't ask for your support to make it important, but we really don't expect for our parents to be doing the teaching.
Some families have asked, is their grade solely relying on assignments, or just as in classroom, is there a compilation of different things that go together to make their grades?
Yeah, there'll be a compilation of several different things that make up the grades, not just achievement, of course, especially with the younger grades. This is a very new program and something that's very different, so I expect our teachers will be very flexible as we've advertised for this program in how they go about assigning grades from a standpoint that they're going to look at the whole situation with the student, how well they participate, the achievement aspect of how well they do in the grades. Of course, for those subjects that are core subjects, they'll have to take an end of course exam, and if they're not, they'll have to take a final exam if it's not an EOC course, and those will factor into the grades as well.
So I know in the past we taught standards that had already been taught. In the future, we will be teaching new grade level standards. Will families and children be held accountable for attendance? Not necessarily how, but is there an accountability measure from the state that
Yes.
will be put into place?
The state actually requires us to keep attendance, even in virtual programs, so there will be an attendance aspect. So we do ask that students participate every day.
We aren't talking about attending and being active from 6 to 12:30 every day.
Right.
Families can break that into chunks. And for working families who have other child care during the day facilitated maybe with grandparents, when they get home from work, would that be an acceptable time for them to be engaging with their child and doing the learning, as long as it wasn't live time with the teacher?
That's right. I think that would be very acceptable. We don't expect, as you said, Dr. McClellan, for a student to sit in front of a computer from 6 to 12, but make those appointments at the same time. When a teacher says, we're going to be on the computer and this is going to be live time, this is my time to work with you, to help you with your assignment, or to answer questions or go over phonics, for example, then that's a great time for teachers to meet with the students. We ask that the students make those appointments, and that the parents help the students to make those appointments. Maybe you give a call from work every once in a while.
That's right.
How are you doing? And are you getting ready to log in? That kind of thing. And not that you would do that on a regular basis, but to help support that process.
And I think putting structures in place and schedules in place,
Exactly.
That's what my own family would need, is definitely a plan
Mine
that
too.
wasn't changing.
Absolutely.
I guess the last couple of questions would be, one person asked about homework, and my thoughts around that were, all of this work is embedded homework and practice, so what I would think is that the homework would be embedded in the 6.5 hour day,
Yes,
and that there would
certainly.
not be additional homework assigned later unless it took the child extra time to complete the assignment.
Right, and I think it's important to point out every child works at a different pace, and that's my thought about that as well, is that the homework or the work that the student need to do in addition to what they're doing while the teacher is in front of them will be taken care of in that 6.5 hours or 4 hours if kindergarten. But I think you're exactly right.
Okay, and then the last question for now is families want to know about materials that are needed at home. As far as elementary schools, I know that the families will each need a laptop, a device for the child, and I know you've advertised that if they need support getting a device that works well with our systems, that's available.
Yes.
I would imagine for an elementary child, they might need a little pocket of all the school supplies they would normally need.
Right.
Crayons, pencils, some
That's
blank
exactly
paper for
right.
math problems.
So if you're a early grade level student, like a kindergarten or first or second grade, whatever materials list that you would have normally had for that year, when you get that from your teacher, it's going to look very much the same as what you've always done. It's just a matter of how we turn assignments back in and how assignments are given to us. That will change, but yeah, very much the same.
So you wouldn't have to go and purchase all the items right now. That's
Right.
one thing we can put in the handbook is perhaps, or communicate on the website, is a list of recommended materials, which will not be lengthy or lofty.
And that's coming very soon. And that's something else we wanted to share with our families, is that we are continuing to update the website. We're going to have another published website here in just a short amount of time that will have a virtual handbook. It will have information about the attendance policy, a contract for families, and that sort of thing. That folks need to get more information, and as well to complete the enrollment process. And so those things are coming very soon. Materials list is a great idea to have for parents very soon. Different things they might need for that grade level. We'll provide that very soon.
So I guess the last thing is you've talked about the website. You've got frequently asked questions on the website. And so we will be building other resources over the next days, realizing that we are building this in an expeditious manner to best serve our children. But some of the questions that they have that they maybe not on this document or being asked will be included in the website and through communication. So if they will continue to send questions by email, and we can be a team to help answer your questions, and even if we might not get right back immediately, we are compiling your questions so that we can clarify and do the best we can with communication for our families.
Exactly. So keep up with that website as best you can. We'll send out a messenger letting you know when that's been updated, so you can log in and see the most updated information. And that's about all.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
You're
Dr.
visionary,
McLaren. I
and we're
appreciate your
excited
help.
about the work.
Thank you for doing this.